A family of bears taking to a tree in a local neighborhood, and now officials are watching and waiting to see what they do next. Good afternoon. This is the KTLA 5 News at 1. I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Leila Feinstein. A mother bear and her cubs were nearly hit by a car coming out of a driveway before they scampered up the tree. KTLA's Christina Pascucci is on the scene in Pasadena with the latest on this situation. All right, I see you smiling, Christina, so hopefully everything's okay out there.
Everything is fine right now, but Leila, this is enough to melt your heart. Let's show you the visual of the family of bears in that tree right there. It's right over a home. Fish and Game saying it doesn't pose any threat to residents here as of right now. Everyone kind of coming out for the show and enjoying it. Fish and Game says the cubs are probably less than a year old, and they think that what happened was Mama Bear was likely trying to teach her cubs some survival skills and then wandered here from nearby hills. We're really close to the hills in this neighborhood. Seeing wild animals here is nothing new to them. But they think that when the bear came into the neighborhood, she felt threatened, climbed up the tree. The higher the bear climbs, the more threatened they feel. So right now, she seems to be feeling very threatened. Let's hear what else officials had to say.
The cubs are going to be attached to her hip at this point. They're too young to survive on their own, so she's just moving around with the cubs. She could be looking for food for them, water for them. I believe they may still be nursing off of her, so that's an issue as far as the immobilization stuff.
I've never seen anything like it. I'm wondering how they're going to get that bear down. He must weigh 500 or 600 pounds.
And officials saying the bear will probably be up there all day long. They're not going to try to coax the bears down because that will make them feel threatened. And then if Mama feels threatened, she's going to pose a threat to the neighbors here and to residents. So right now, just waiting to see what's going to happen. Fish and Game saying they're monitoring the bears and no public safety issue at this time. But I kind of want to talk to the residents living there right where the tree is right above them and see what their take is on all that. They haven't come out yet, but as soon as they do, we're going to bring you their story and continue to monitor the situation as well. Reporting from Pasadena, Christina Pascucci, KTLA 5 News.
You know, let me ask you, you may be scaring them too because you're actually got a pretty good vantage point where you're doing this live report. Is there any thought about maybe just moving everybody out of the neighborhood and maybe they'll climb down the tree and leave?
Yes, good question, Glenn. There's helicopters overhead. There's about 10 live trucks here. So Fish and Game saying that's probably wanting to keep the bears are probably continuing to feel threatened because of this large media presence. And they said they might have to ask us to pull out of here and leave the area shortly to help and coax these bears to come down.
Yeah, you can only imagine if they were threatened when there was one neighbor there driving out of the driveway, and now you have all these people, the looky-loos, the media, and the helicopters circling overhead. I'm sure that Mama Bear is feeling very protective of her cubs. All right, Christina Pascucci, thank you for that live report. We're continuing to follow a bear family in a Pasadena tree. We want to go back now to KTLA's Christina Pascucci. She's at the scene with the very latest. Christina.
Hey guys, and the bear saga continues. They're still hanging out in the tree. It looks like the cubs were sleeping a little bit earlier. And like I said before, truly enough to melt your heart. These guys are so cute, but very misleading because when a mama bear is trying to protect her cub, she is going to fight and becomes very dangerous. Now, we did just see the residents of this home come back literally a few moments ago, quite shocked by what they had to see, of course. They told us that they had to go to the hospital this morning, not related to the bears. They just walked out, saw the bears, ran in the other direction, and had to go to the hospital. They just came back and say they hope that the Fish and Game officials just let the bears come down nicely. They don't want to see these animals get hurt. And as I told you earlier as well, officials are saying it's likely the bears came down here from the hills. We're really close to the hills here in this Pasadena neighborhood, and they see wild animals all the time. Actually, one person I was just speaking to said they saw bears or see bears on a morning basis every morning. So not something quite unusual, but what's making this unusual today, the amount of media here, 10 live trucks at least, helicopters above. So more than anything, that's probably threatening this bear and causing it to want to stay in the trees. We're going to continue to monitor this situation and bring you the very latest as the day goes on. Back to you guys.
Christina, we know that you said that officials are thinking that maybe they're going to have to evacuate everyone, including you, the media. We know you're doing your job, but obviously that is threatening the mama bear. Have they told you any word as to when they are planning on doing that so that they hope they can just let the bear just come down on its own once everyone leaves?
Right. Well, they didn't say they're going to evacuate residents because right now they don't think the bears pose a public safety threat, but they did tell us that they're going to try to evacuate media or kind of push us out of here as the day goes on if the mama bear and her cubs seem to be increasingly threatened. No word on exactly when that would be.
I think just about the time that a newscast starts on another station.
That would be a perfect timing.
Run you guys out of there.
Yeah.
Story,
Okay.
Vera. It's a real life story of the three bears that capturing the attention of an entire community. Starring in the drama, a mama bear and two of her cubs. KTLA's Christina Pascucci is live near Altadena with reaction from residents of these bears that are just literally hanging around. Hi, Christina.
Good evening to you, Cher. We are just hearing that the three bears, the mama and her two cubs, have actually climbed down the second tree. But this tree over my shoulder here is where their journey started today, and I spoke to the resident who lives below.
Well, my wife, she was yanking me by the shirt. Get back in the house, you idiot. She loves me.
Keith Miller and his wife woke up to three uninvited guests in their front yard Thursday morning.
I didn't even hear it. I just came around the corner of my garage, and it was right there at the tree where the trash cans are. And it looked at me, it ran, and I ran.
Up the tree, the two cubs went, followed by their several hundred-pound mother. Officials say the cubs are still nursing, and Mama Bear must have felt threatened.
The cubs are going to be attached to her hip at this point. They're too young to survive on their own, so she's just moving around with the cubs. She could be looking for food for them, water for them.
According to neighbors, this wild animal sighting is a part of living so close to the animal's habitat.
They've had their fence ripped down and their ice chest vandalized with big claw marks from the bear, where they just rip it open like a tin can.
The neighbor here has a koi pond, and the bears, they're quite tasty, I understand.
Even a beehive spotted just a couple hundred feet from the California black bears. After spending hours in the Miller's front tree, they climbed down, ran through some backyards, and then relocated to a second tree. But this one was in the right spot.
The fact that when she treats herself, she's right above her canyon, or a canyon that can return her to her natural habitat.
Officials insist this was never a public safety issue. They are continuing to monitor Mama and her two cubs to make sure they go down into the canyon right below that tree where they were just hanging around and then return to their natural habitat. We'll continue to monitor the situation for you and bring you the very latest on your KTLA News at 10 o'clock. Reporting from Altadena, Christina Pascucci, KTLA 5.
All right, Christina, thank you.